Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett, live on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. I'm Bridgett Ellison. It's great to be with you for the start of another week here. It is July 15th, so we are rolling right along through this month. It's going by fast, and one of those things that kind of makes the days seem like they're repetitive is the weather. We've been having these afternoon storms and showers. Yesterday I had some hail. We'll get to that weather, and we also have a live interview this morning about a school supply backpack giveaway that is coming up on this weekend. And we have James Coleman, who is a former NFL player, a former Seminole, joining us to tell us about his backpack giveaway. So those details are coming up in just a few moments. But first, let's go to the Pinpoint Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. And Candace, I know you said yesterday was a pool day for you, and I waited a little bit too late because I started to check that radar, and my kids were mad at me.
It was so funny. I got to explain to them what a sun shower was because we had a little earlier in the day, it was started to drizzle, but the sun was still out. So like my youngest was very confused on what was happening in the sky. There was no lightning. There was nothing really anywhere around. And then later on, then the clouds started getting dark, and then you started hearing the rumbles of thunder. But that Pinpoint Weather app is so nice because it'll show you how far the lightning is from your location.
Yeah,
so
because
it's
she
another.
didn't believe me. I had to pull it up and show her.
You see, these kids are techie, so they like seeing the facts.
She's like, well, check the radar for tomorrow. I said, no, I can't do that.
That's funny. But yeah, it's just what else do you do? I have a girlfriend of mine who we were talking about trying to plan a play date. And I'm like, where do we go?
Some indoor options,
it's too
like
high.
the rain
it
check
has to be
option.
an indoor playground or bowling or
and
science
my mom
center
is visiting, so you know what happens when the storms come on. It's like, oh, turn everything off.
Oh no, that's cute. I love when mom's there. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more of the same as you kind of plan out your pool forecast for today, but it's certainly going to be finding ways of staying cool will certainly be needed. So let's take it to the map, show you what's going on. We have feeling like 100 to 107 potentially again for today. And honestly, Bridgett, you say it jokingly, but I feel like such a broken record already this time of the year because it's a lot more of the same, but the day is still a little different depending on how much rain you get. So it's not going to be, when I say it's rinse and repeat, it's just the setup, at the end of the day, depending on how strong the sea breezes are, how week one is compared to the other, that's where
seasoning in it. We got hail yesterday in ours. I was surprised.
Oh, you did also get hail. Yeah. And that's the reason why we had those severe thunderstorm warnings. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan was in last night, and she left me a note that they had 4 severe thunderstorm warnings yesterday. So certainly it was a busy night, that's for sure. And storms will return again later on this afternoon after about 3-4 o'clock. And the good news is no new tropical development that's expected within the next 7 days. So as we look here at your hour-by-hour forecast, temperatures, again, are going to be staying at about 60% because we are going to continue to see the sea breezes collide. And where they collide, that line is where we will really start to anticipate the heaviest of the rain. Those slow-moving storms will also have that potential of dumping a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So it feels like the heat index, that's really going to be the noticeable thing no matter where you are in Central Florida, feeling like 103 to 109 degrees potentially throughout the afternoon. And then the rain comes through. Now, mind you, if we didn't have the daily rain and the daily sea breezes coming in, Bridgett, we would be soaring to 100 degrees every day. So we have to be thankful for these rain showers because that is at least why it's difficult for Central Florida. People always think Florida is hot, right? But we're consistently hot and humid, but our actual temperatures don't hit 100 very often. It's because of this. By 3-4 o'clock, when temperatures should still keep climbing, we're going to cap them and cool things down with that rain-cooled air. Sea breeze storms will continue to linger till about 4 or 5 o'clock, again, favoring inland zones. And then our models have been kind of drifting the lingering rain as the sun goes down back out to the coastline by about 8-9 o'clock. And then same story as we head into Tuesday as well. Quick look at the tropics. We've got a lot of Saharan dust across the tropical Atlantic. So we are tracking a few waves, but because there's so much dry air out there, it's really going to suppress any real tropical progress with any of those waves out there. And as a result here with your full 7-day forecast, I know it looks like I'm just copying and pasting the weather forecast, but it looks like Wednesday potentially will be our quote unquote driest day of the week. It's still a 40 to 50% chance of rain, but models have been showing a little bit of dry air kind of filtering in, which might limit some of the rain in the forecast on Wednesday. So we'll have to wait and see. But if our rain chances do come down a little further, those temperatures are going to get hotter because we won't get the rain to cool us down at that point in time. So again, one or the other. Either you got the heat or you got the storms. You can't be cool and dry. That you have to wait till the winter for that one.
And with the weather pattern, that helps with sort of keeping the dust under control, I would imagine.
Yeah. The dust really at the end of the day is still suspended kind of in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. It's really good for sunrise and sunsets. We've had about a moderate air quality for the past couple of days because of that Saharan dust. But like you said, whether it's smoke, whether it's pollution, whether it's dust, that east and west coast movement of that air offshore. So when the air moves back over the water, it almost kind of cleans itself out and then comes back in during the day and then goes back out. So it's that fluctuation that, you're right, does help keep our air pretty clean. So we get that. That's why the pollen season's so bad during kind of the winter months, because we don't get those crazy sea breeze motions in and out.
Then, yeah.
And so the air becomes a little more stagnant and then of course we get the cold fronts that bring in, more pollen from up north that we're not used to. So it's very interesting. That's actually an interesting topic. Maybe we can dive into that one when we talk about.
And so the window today for the most activity is going to be?
I would say if you can get them in the pool by for your schedule purposes, because I know the time you get off of work, I would say try to get them in the pool. What do you want? Like an hour? A good chunky hour?
Yeah, at least an hour.
I would say you should still be good by 2:00. So get home, have yourself a little lunch.
Maybe after that though, because
I think you should be good. You probably will be good until 4.
Okay. That's a tight window. All right. We'll see.
It is a tight window.
All right.
Call me later.
I'll let you know how it goes. All right.
That's right. That's why you got me as a friend.
Yes. Thank you, Kent.
You're welcome.
Fingers crossed. All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, Trooper Steve is on assignment today with a special ceremony, so he'll have details on that if you're following him. And so not going to be with us to talk about traffic this morning, but we do, of course, want to get to a lot of our big stories, and then we'll get to that live interview that we have coming up. Of course, this assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump has been really making headlines, and, of course, we're still waiting for a lot of answers about what happened, but of course, this is troubling. New details are emerging about the 20-year-old who allegedly opened fire during the rally Saturday in Pennsylvania. And President Biden is, calling on Americans to, stand down on a lot of the rhetoric and the things that are causing things to bubble up into violence. But News 6's Mark Lehman has the latest details on the investigation.
Bomb squad vehicles were seen outside the Pennsylvania home of the 20-year-old shooter a day after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
Trump says he was hit by at least one round in his right ear. Bullets struck 3 other people at the rally, injuring 2 and killing Corey Comparator, who died shielding his daughters. A Secret Service sniper then took out the shooter, who's been identified as Thomas Crooks. One former classmate says he was a loner who was bullied.
You know how kids are nowadays. He didn't dress like everyone else, so.
Did you ever think he was capable of something like this?
No, like I said, that's not something you want to think about, though.
Crooks was a registered Republican, though federal records indicated he previously made a $15 donation to a Democratic-aligned group. As an investigation is underway, President Biden addressed the nation last night, calling for unity.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence, ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
And of course, tension is a little bit high right now, of course, from what happened over the weekend going into now the Republican National Convention kicking off today in Milwaukee. And we've learned that security's been stepped up. We even have some local law enforcement there working security, and News 6's Ezzy Castro has more on that law enforcement from Central Florida in Wisconsin right now.
The Republican National Convention is set to kick off tonight in Milwaukee, with more than 50,000 politicians and delegates expected to attend, including former President Trump. And despite Saturday's assassination attempt, his family says he's in good spirits and is ready for the conference.
Quite jovial, just wants to get back at it.
As for safety, the security perimeter around the convention stretches for several blocks with increased patrols in the area. The Orange County Sheriff's Office posted this photo showing 50 deputies in Milwaukee ready to help with security. Meantime, the agent in charge of the event said yesterday there will be no changes to the operational security plan, which started more than a year ago.
We have an operational security plan that's built out for every area of responsibility related to any and all aspects of security related to this event.
And so we'll keep you posted as more details emerge on everything concerning those stories. And now we want to get to Amazon Prime Day, which is coming up tomorrow, if you hadn't heard. And it's one of those days we like to mark on our calendar, of course, when we want to get things that maybe are on our shopping list and hopefully get a good deal. But you know what? While you're looking for a good deal, criminals are looking to take advantage of all those extra packages on your porch. The porch pirates are a big problem. And News 6's Schemes and Ripoffs producer Robert Brewer has more on how to protect your purchases.
Prime Day is prime time for all those door-to-door package thieves.
Hey, get away!
Just looking for the right opportunity to take your stuff.
Since it is a crime of opportunity, it tends to peak around times where people are ordering more packages are being delivered.
More packages delivered means more targets for so-called porch pirates, who steal an estimated 1.7 million packages every day in America. But on Prime Days, Corey Wagner and Security.org predict a 40% increase in that number.
So that could be nearly 2.4 million.
So you're telling me we could be seeing 2 million packages stolen each day during this event?
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible, Wagner says, unless we counter the porch thieves with proven best practices, like scheduling the delivery for when you know you'll be home and enabling delivery alerts so you know the second it's on your doorstep.
It really cuts down on the chances that the package can be stolen.
Another good way to take the porch out of porch theft is have it delivered to where you work.
Wagner says another way to reduce your risk is shipping your package to an Amazon pickup point. There are Amazon lockers and counters all over Central Florida, located next to gas stations like 7-Eleven or inside grocery stores like Whole Foods. You can pick up at your convenience, and you know your stuff's protected the whole time. Robert Brewer, Getting Results, News 6.
You know what? They know me at the Amazon desk at the Whole Foods. But, you know, it is one of those things to watch out for because they're bold. I mean, they're taking things off porches with cameras. I mean, you saw the footage, so watch out there as you get your deals. Speaking of deals, you know, the tax-free weekend is coming up for school supplies and everything. That's going to be July 29th through August 11th. And there's so many things covered in that help give you a break on the school supplies, tax-free anyway, but it adds up depending on how many kids you have too. But a great thing is happening this Saturday where there's going to be a backpack giveaway. And this morning we have former Florida State University fullback James Coleman with us, also a former Saint with us. And you, sir, are just out here what I call doing the Lord's work. Thanks for being with us this morning to talk about this giveaway.
Appreciate you having me.
What inspired you to do things like this in the community, you know, giving back and like this Saturday's backpack giveaway?
Well, two things. My mother's always been someone who's given back and shown me, even though we didn't have much growing up. But the neighborhood that I grew up in, one of the influences that I had, and a lot of people won't admit this, were the guys who were doing more nefarious things. They gave back. They always would give us some money when we would go take the city bus to go get school clothes or things like that. And that was influencing people like me and my generation. So what I figured is, what if a guy like myself who's now washed, what if I started doing some things? What if more lawyers, what if more people started doing stuff? And instead of just kind of pointing the finger, I just said, you know what, let me go out here and try book bag driving. I did the first one in my hometown, Tallahassee. Then I did one where I work in Jacksonville. And then last year we expanded to Orlando.
And it's one of those things where you don't have to wonder if people can use something like this because it really gets expensive. Every year it puts a lot of pressure on families and teachers trying to get ready for school.
Yeah, I've got two that I have to try to get active with. And even though I'm blessed and I'm benefited, it's very difficult to get those supplies. And it costs up in like those little those 20-cent packs of paper start to add up when they go through it all the time. So what I just want to do is just be able to help take away or defer maybe what some of those costs are for some people who can't afford it. So come by, get a book bag, and all I ask is that you just have a kid in the car and take as much as you want.
And so you have a way to register too. It is free, but you have a way to register so you know sort of how many supplies you need to have this Saturday.
Yeah, JamesColemanGivesBack.com. If you go there, all of the locations, all the different things we have. But in particular, click on the Orlando location. Just put a name in there, how many bags you need. It kind of helps us track it so that we don't show up with like 10 book bags. If there's 1,000 people that need book bags, we'll come with 1,000. If there's more than that, we'll try to adjust. The goal is to make sure that everybody has the adequate supplies so that these kids can start off their school year without having to worry and be able to be the best students that they could possibly be.
Yes. And what are other ways that you're supporting the community? I understand you have some camps that you're doing. You're looking to expand things even more.
Yeah, in Tallahassee and Jacksonville, we do the Blue Bag Drive on Saturdays, much like we'll do at West Oaks Elementary School in Orlando. But then on Sunday, we have a football camp, and that's one of the things that we do want to expand towards in Orlando as well. Again, I got an opportunity to play at the highest level, and I bring friends with me as well. So I bring guys local in Jacksonville. We have some of the local prep guys in Tallahassee. I lean on my alumni. And my current Seminoles to be able to come out and do some different camps. So moving forward, we'd love to work with UCF. Love to work with some of the current local guys, and I have some former Noles that are in that Orlando area who would love to give back. We just got to keep growing this product here and keep getting the community support. And man, we'll do whatever. As far as even after school programs and things, I have my Mentors for the Kids Foundation that is partnered with this, so that our goal is to find more me's and more you's in the community to develop them, encourage them, and equip them so that they can be the future.
Yes, and that's what it goes back to when you talked about having the school supplies and that taking that off their minds. And we of course had the news at the top of the half hour about this young man was bullied all through school, and it was well known that he was bullied, which is heartbreaking to hear. But those things stay with a child. And how does participating in team sports and things like that, help kids, get through life and give them the skills to, be strong and be more friendly and get along with people?
Well, one, you develop a natural friend base because you have your teammates. If nothing else, you've got these guys that you can rely on. And sports help you learn how to deal with failure because you're going to fail, and you're gonna need people to encourage you. And you learn discipline, and you learn to also be reliable to other people. But bigger than that, even things like this. I remember when I was 8 years old, Gene Atkins, a football player from Tallahassee and FAMU. He also played for the New Orleans Saints as well, ironically. I always remember that football camp, and that made me want to be a football player and be positive. Sometimes you just got to find that one positive thing or that one thing, and it gets you through. I can tell you this much: I hated every minute of practice, but I loved winning, and I loved the benefits from it. So sometimes you have to find that one. But it also made me go to school. Football is what made me want to go to school and made me do well in class, and it helped me be successful. So everybody has to find that one thing, and that's kind of what mentors do. And that's one of the things that I've aspired to be as I've gotten older.
And when we look at academics in school, there's that well-roundedness that is really needed there, whether it's the academic clubs, or maybe it's a sports club, or maybe it's some sort of music or arts-based thing that also gives people more outlets for expression and connection.
You have to do that. Life is too tough to try to keep it up. One thing I always tell people: quit the independent thinking. Like stop trying to be an independent person. We live in an interdependent reality. You need people that you can rely on while you're building yourself up. One of my favorite rappers is Jay-Z. He has this bar that he had in one of his songs. Nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. And you pick up the people who are around you, and you do these things. That's why band is important. I'm a former band geek. I used to play the saxophone, chess club, Spanish club, all of these different things, man. The biggest thing is to learn how to get involved early, because as you grow in life, you're going to want to continue to get involved, and it helps you build. You learn from other cultures, you learn from other people, and it makes you, like you said, more well-rounded.
And so how have we transitioned from maybe less focus on, we need to make sure that they get a scholarship out of this, and it's more about the experience and less pressure on going pro or going to the scholarship level to get through school for free, which is all great, but everybody's not going to be able to get all those benefits from it, but there are benefits for everyone.
Well, you just focus on the basics. The reality of the situation is I was genuinely unique. My mother actually raised two Division One athletes and one pro. My sister's an attorney. Actually, she used to live in the Orlando area, which is a big part of the reason I came back and did a lot of different things. But the discipline, the teamwork, the physical fitness, the camaraderie, the finding the success and building your self esteem and building your identity through sports and group activities is second to none. I mean, we all have our families, but one of the things that typically happens, especially in American culture, is we'll all leave our family eventually and go somewhere else. So you have to learn how to go into a new environment, how to find your niche, how to develop friends so that you can continue to be a productive person in society. And then also in that camp, we teach, and that's why it's important to have the college guys, the former pros, and even some of my better prep guys, so that as you're being poured into, you go and pour into that next generation. It's a multi-generational thing. I have my mentors that are out there that poured into me, and at the same time, I'm pouring into the younger guys. It starts to embed, and if it becomes, and this is the best part about sports, if it becomes a habit, it becomes something that takes you on through the rest of the day. So we, just as much as we need to build kids' self-esteem, we need to build kids, men and women, who go out and aren't just jerks to each other, but they're going around and they're helping their
Right.
fellow male and female to build their self-esteem.
Maybe help someone who is being bullied.
That part.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is great. So this is Saturday, the backpack giveaway at West Oaks Elementary School. So we can just pull up between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And you can also register at jamescolemangivesback.com. And we just appreciate everything you're doing. Look forward to, more great things to share with the community in the future.
I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to get this out there.
All right. Well, we'll see you soon. Take care. All right. Thanks. I also want to get to some more news right now. There is a parking controversy actually happening in New Smyrna Beach, and Jarrell Baker explains what's happening there. People having trouble finding parking, and it's just, there's really a need right there for more parking spaces. Here's Jarrell.
I'm here in New Smyrna Beach off of South Atlantic Avenue, right here where they have the old Regions Bank. They're trying to turn that into this right here. Now, this is a plan that's in the works. They could be bringing a 5-story shopping center to this area. It will come with 300 parking spaces.
To build something like that that would interfere with what you have now, I just don't agree with.
While the proposed nearly 35,000 square foot shopping center is exciting to some, several local beachgoers like Bert Stanley, who lives 4 miles up the road, says he's not thrilled with the idea.
If they were to build this thing, I think it should be in a different location, away from some of the historic sites in the beach.
Even visitors like Melissa Malcolm, who travels from West Virginia to the beach every year over the past 4 decades, is not a fan. It'll come with more bathrooms for the area and also about 300 more parking spaces. Does that change your mind at all?
Not really, because I'm considering relocating in a few years, and I like the small town vibe that New Smyrna still has.
According to the plans on the city's website, the shopping center will feature 101 paid parking spaces for the general public near the beach and 209 spaces dedicated for shoppers. Scott Schwerdfigger, who lives in DeLand and visits the beach 4 times a week, says the development would bring in a lot of revenue and show New Smyrna Beach is a fast-growing city.
Over on our side of the county, we've got huge development, and that's bringing in hundreds and hundreds of families, and I think that will. Again, this is going from commercial to commercial, so I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact.
Now, everything is not set in stone. There's still a few more steps that they need to take before they get ready to do their development here in this area. The area still has to be rezoned. They'll be having a public hearing and a second reading on August 13th. In New Smyrna Beach, Darrell Baker, Getting Results, News 6.
So we'll keep you posted on that. And, we don't have time to tell the full story today, but want to tell you about a sensory-friendly dining experience available at Hollerback's German restaurant in Sanford now. And so that story is live now on clickorlando.com, but it's a great thing that they're going to start doing on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for people with dementia and their families and those who have sensory issues. It'll be a better way to still enjoy the experience out at Hollerback. So check that out on clickorlando.com. Also, while you're there, register for the Insider Beach Bag giveaway. It is a very nice compilation of goodies there. Go to clickorlando.com/contest where you can enter to win now through July 31st. And it's free to be an insider as well. So sign up and you can enter these contests. There's going to be a beach bag there, a towel, koozie, sunglasses, and somebody's going to get it. And it's going to be a nice thing to have to get through the summer. So that's going to do it for us this morning on Breakfast with Bridgett. I'll be posting some more details on the James Coleman backpack giveaway. Look for that a little bit later on clickorlando.com. But up next is Weather Wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Then Trooper Steve's on patrol at 8:30. I'll see you today for News 6 at noon. Take care.